Want to know anything and everything related to pets? You're in the right place. Join us as we talk to pet industry experts about pet fitness and health, pet travel, foods and recipes, pet horoscopes, and much, much more. This episode is brought to you by Fido Fitness and Play, the pet industry's leader in pet transportation. This is Everything Pets with your host, Ed Walden.
Hello, pet lovers. This is your friend, Ed Walden, host of the Everything Pets podcast, podcasting from Washington, D.C. in the Fido Fitness and Play Power Center. Today, we're exploring the world of pet aromatherapy with aromatherapist Rachel Carroll, all the way from down under, Melbourne, Australia.
Woo! Yeah.
Rachel is the owner and director of Genki Pet, an aromatherapy spritz creator for pets and their people. Rachel is creating happiness by reducing the anxiety and stress associated with common problems affecting cats, dogs, and their people by providing hand-blended, safe and effective, natural alternatives to synthetic and chemical pet products on the market. Rachel believes that if something is not working for you, change it. Let's get Rachel on board so that we can talk pet aromatherapy. But first, let's laugh and then hear from our sponsor. Why did the skeleton go to the pet store by himself? Because he had no body to go with him.
Hi, pet parents! Zoe Dove here, and I want to tell you about our friends at Fido Fitness and Play, North America's #1 pet transportation service. Fido Fitness and Play has been safely transporting pets since 2008 in clean, temperature-controlled vehicles, reliably and on time. If you need pet transportation service, call our friends at Fido Fitness and Play at 844-738-3973 or visit their website at fidofitnessandplay.com. You can find them on Twitter at DCFido.
Hello, this is Lisa Stardust from New York City, and you're listening to the Everything Pets podcast with your host, Ed Walden.
Thanks for coming back, pet peeps. It's time to bring on our newest friend from Melbourne, Australia, pet aromatherapist, Rachel Carroll. Rachel, it's great to have you on the Everything Pets podcast. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into the details of pet aromatherapy, would you share with us your background and how you got involved with pet aromatherapy?
Thanks, Ed. I love to. It's one of my favorite parts of the Genki Pet story. Genki Pet, even though I'm in Melbourne, Australia, that was born from a friendship that started in Japan with a friend of mine. And so we chose Genki because it's kind of fun and pets are really fun. Genki means healthy. Plus, it's healthy plus, like healthy, prosperous, wealthy, everything. And that's how Japanese people would greet each other. How you going is, o Genki desu ka? Are you well? How's things? And you'd say, hi, Genki desu. So Carla and I met over in Japan, and she moved to Sydney with her cat and got another cat and then rehomed another cat that they found in a pizza box in the alleyway in Sydney. And she was living in a 1-bedroom apartment at that time with 2 of her own cats and a rehomed one. So you can imagine it got pretty hectic in there sometimes with the new kitty. So she would call me and say, gosh, it's costing me a fortune. I'm buying stuff in from the States, the exchange rate, the currency conversion, all this. So I said, well, take a photo of the label of the stuff that you're using to try and chill the cat household down, and I'll have a crack at making something for you and your little courageous kitties. So, because I, at that stage, had been practicing aromatherapy with human beings for 20 years. And so I had a look at the products she was using and went, okay, I reckon, did some research about what cats and dogs shouldn't have. essential oil wise, which is very extensive list for cats. We've got to be really careful with cats. And then I used a modality called kinesiology, which uses muscle testing and the feedback loop between your muscle and your brain to sort of decide for you what the most appropriate thing is for that time. So look at the list of essential oils that are safe for cats and dogs. And then I muscle tested through them with in mind this specific need that my friend Carla had, which was to chill out her 1-bedroom house with 3 cats in it. So that blend is called Friendship and Acceptance. And that was my first blend to create Friendship and Acceptance. And it worked. So totally natural, and it calmed down Carla's cat. That was the beginning. That was my first blend. And now we have 3, one for travel-related nausea and anxiety called Moving and Grooving, and one for anxiety and hyperactivity called Stillness and Calm.
Please explain to our listeners what pet aromatherapy is and why is it important?
Okay, well, pet aromatherapy is the use of essential oils which come from plants and flowers and trees, so naturally derived oils that have got certain qualities that when we smell them, the constituents of the oils go into our brain and have certain effects on our bodies. And the cool thing about aromatherapy is that smell is the only sense that doesn't go through the nervous system. Our olfactory process is like right at the top of our nose. So it just, you smell something and it's straight at your brain, straight in your brain. The cool thing about aromatherapy for pets is pets' sense of smell is like out of this world. So like you and I have 6 million smell receptors. A beagle would have 350 million. The power of smell, the sense of smell, is a really cool thing to harness in helping pets feel calm and relaxed and settle their tummies when they're traveling, that sort of thing. So it's a really great tool to help pets feel healthy and happy. It's very new. Like in the States, it's more popular than Australia. I'm cutting edge here. Like I know of 2 other companies that are providing aromatherapy for pets in Australia. So it's emerging. And because just like pet wellness is an emerging part of the pet industry, aromatherapy within that is emerging as something people are turning to have a natural way to create calm in their families.
Well, what are the benefits of pet aromatherapy?
Oh, for sure. So like Moving and Grooving, our blend for travel calm, because lots of pets get anxious when they're traveling, but also it's the lumps and bumps in the road that can just upset their digestive system. So that can create the disharmony and so make it a noisy, smelly, messy trip, right? So in our blend for travel, we've got ginger, the essential oil of ginger, and we've got essential oil of spearmint. Both of those are really effective on really winding down the digestive system, settling it. Ginger and spearmint for reducing digestive upset, so then you don't get, the vomiting and the smells and the anxiety and meowing and barking because of the digestive, your pet's upset in the tummy. So ginger and spearmint help dial down that digestive upset.
Okay, how does aromatherapy work in animals?
All of our blends have got French lavender in them, Ed. And so when a chemist analyzes French lavender, like a drop of essential oil of French lavender, they can break it down to all these different types of molecules. So alcohols and ethanols and phenols and all these things. Each of those molecules performs a different service within our body on a chemical level, so a chemistry level. And the other powerful thing is, apart from what the actual molecular constituents of each oil does, you've then got the power of association, right? So whenever I smell orange blossom or lemon blossom, I instantly go straight to my grandfather's garden, because in my childhood, there was lots of citrus trees, and I instantly am there. You can't consciously stop yourself doing that. It just, because the olfactory process, the process thing that processes smells is right there at your brain, it's like instantly there. Same as for pets. So if your pet is lying in the sun in its favorite little spot in the house and relaxing, being still and calm, then we get our clients to spritz stillness and calm around them at that time, so that then they can lock in the smell of stillness and calm with feeling still and calm. So then when they're not still and calm, maybe later on, when you spritz the aromatherapy, you get that power of association, and they can go, oh, I know this smell. It's when I'm lying in the sun in my favorite, licking my paw, lying in the sun in my favorite little spot. So there's two ways that aromatherapy helps, like on a molecular level, but also an association level.
Now, is it exclusively for specific species, say dogs and cats only, or could it be used for any pet?
That's such a good question, Ed. That's really important. Dogs, cats, horses all really enjoy it. Goats, generally bigger, four-legged, hairy. Snakes, birds, your bunnies, maybe not. Not to say that you can't, but birds are quite delicate, aren't they? And so you just, to put anything on them, you wouldn't usually think to do that. Like they're very delicate, and snakes as well. Rabbits they do all their digesting based on specific bacteria in their guts. So you want to make sure there's nothing in their environment that messes with that. Genki Pet products are focused on dogs and cats, and they're both dog and cat friendly, because I was shocked. I don't know about you, but how many mixed households there were. Like, I grew up with Tom and Jerry, and that's just not the truth. There's lots of dogs and cats living together. So I had to make my blends. I chose to, for the safety of the cats, dog and cat friendly.
What are the most common used methods of application?
Okay, so my blends, obviously, I've chosen a really shake and spritz. It's really easy. It's portable. You can put it in your little bag to take to the dog park or whatever, or throw it in the glove box of the car, and you're good. Lots of people already have aromatherapy diffusers in their homes. So where you add the little bit of water and then you put a couple of drops of your essential oils in, and then the steam comes out the top and diffuses the oil through the room. So that's becoming a really common method. There are some vets who do work with essential oils and make actual balms and creams and things to apply actually onto your pet. And it's important that you do, if you're going to do direct application like that, it needs to be made by an aromatherapy specialist, a veterinary specialist, because you always want your essential oils to be diluted to a really safe level, because as we've just heard, beagles have 350 million smell receptors. Imagine how overwhelming it would be to have this really strong, neat essential oil on your paw or on your bandana around your neck, My biggest advice is dial it way down, because if you can smell it as a human, your dog or cat is going, hey, wow, that is OTT.
So, Rachel, why would a pet parent choose aromatherapy over other treatments, such as the use of pheromones or sedatives and antidepressants?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Ed. And education is part of my mission with Genki Pet, to help people know that there's an option. What I've been told by people is that pheromones either didn't work. Sometimes they do. For some of my clients, the pheromone has worked, but it's synthetic. So that's man-made rather than nature-made. So that's something that lots of people are choosing away from these days. They're buying organic food, organic products, chemical-free products for their homes. Why would they then be plugging in a synthetic pheromone to, fill their household? With the antidepressants and the sedatives, lots of my clients who've had, reactive or really nervous dogs, and they've given them sedatives that they're veterinary prescribed, they just don't know their animal anymore. Like the dog, it's not visibly shaking or nervous anymore, but it's also doesn't resemble their dog anymore. They're just a bit not themselves, or at worst, really just out of it, like tongue hanging out, doped out, not aware. Essential oils and aromatherapy provide a nice sort of natural midway where you can calm and balance and relax, like muscle relaxant as well, your dog or cat or horse, without them being like having that knocked out kind of effect. You still want your dog or cat to be there, right? You don't want them like, yeah, eyes hanging out and rolled. So that's what the feedback I've got, it's just he's not himself when he's on that stuff. So people are willing to give something else a go so that they've got calm and relaxed, but also themselves present.
Great. Could a pet parent use a combination of treatments, aromatherapy along with traditional medicine or cannabis or other holistic care?
Yeah, absolutely. And if they were using a combination, then obviously veterinary advice is really important there. But because like I said, just because cannabis, the CBD oil, which is fantastic, and I loved your podcast where you interviewed Kirsten Cooley. Yeah, that was fantastic. She really knows her chemistry. I was very impressed. But yeah, I'm a big fan. It's natural and it's relaxing, calming. You just mention it to your vet and it's part of a holistic approach. Maybe your dog or cat is on antidepressants or sedatives now and you don't want that moving forward. So you go, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Vet, can I please have process to dial down the meds and dial up something natural? And then behavioral training as well comes in to go, well, what's going on here? Can we actually get to the cause of the issue and solve it there?
Are there any dangers or risks involved with pet aromatherapy? Any negative side effects?
Well, I don't know if I'll say negative side effects. It's all to do with the humans, as it usually is. Yeah, so I've mentioned quality of oils and concentration of oils, so concentration, dilution, and like application. It's up to the humans to buy the best quality essential oils that haven't been interfered with by perfumers, that aren't on the shelves in the cheap warehouse pharmacy thing. So choice is really important. And also there is a list of essential oils, and I've got one on my website, that shouldn't be used with dogs and cats. As I said before, cats are particularly sensitive creatures to do with how their livers metabolize toxins, and we've got to be very particular with them. But having said that, essential oils are one sort of thing we've got to be mindful of with cats. There's no point not using essential oils for your cat, but then, you spray your hair with hairspray. You've got the air freshener pumping crap out the wall. You're cleaning your house with every possible synthetic fragrance, chemical cleaner. Like a fair bit of common sense, Ed. That's the go. If you love your pet, you find out what is on the list of oils that you shouldn't use. You open up windows and doors so that fresh air can, it's a nicely ventilated space. You dilute your essential oils to a nice, like low concentration for your pets. And you give them a choice. You make sure that they can remove themselves from the area where you're diffusing the oils. You make sure you don't spray it on them before you've asked them for permission in the way that I described before. So there's tales out there about poor old Melaleuca or tea tree essential oil, but those having negative effects on some cats and dogs. But in those cases, everyone, Ed, it was the crappy, poor quality and just way too much. Just because your dog's really skittish today doesn't mean you empty the whole bottle, right?
Now, Rachel, can you share with us any success stories you've experienced by practicing pet aromatherapy?
Oh, well, I've told you about Carla and her cats in the One Better, which was the birth of friendship and acceptance. And then I get an email from this lovely lady named Melissa. She's my most regular client. Oh, no, actually not. I've had emails with her video. I rang her to say, because I'm starting, it's a relatively new business. What's the go? I see you buying Stillness and Calm, regularly. Tell me about your story. What's going on? She goes, I was going to put my dog Buddy down, euthanize him, because he was attacking me. I lost confidence in his behavior. He was randomly just getting aggressive and reactive, and I just was at my wit's end. I saw your post and I went, I'm just done here? I've got to try something. And she bought Stillness and Calm, and it has saved Buddy's life. They've found a way, and it's natural, so she can feel at peace that she's not had to, sedate him or whatever. Like he's not having a ton of meds. He's behaving and she feels safe. He obviously feels safe because he's calmer. So yeah, Stillness and Calm saved Buddy's life. And because of Buddy and Melissa, I keep doing what I'm doing because it's good and it's working. They're my favorite. That's my favorite.
Now, we have a global listenership. If our listeners wanted to reach out to you, how could they?
Well, go to my website, genkipet.com.au, and there's a phone number, there's a contact form, you can send me an email, I've got Facebook page, Genki Pet AU, and Instagram, Genki Pet AU. So I'm happy to talk with everybody about essential oils used for pets because it's my duty as a professional aromatherapist to educate and give people the tools to create calm in their furry families, but safely, and with ultimate respect for the pet.
Rachel, do me a favor. Would you please spell out Genki Pet so that we can make sure that our listeners get to the correct website?
Oh, I will. It's G for golf, E for egg, N for Nelly, K for kitten, and I for igloo. Pet. Thanks, Ed. That's a great idea. Genki Pet.
Well, Rachel, I certainly enjoyed learning about pet aromatherapy with you, but my time is running out. We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for chatting with us about pet aromatherapy. I'm quite sure we'll be reaching out to you for part 2.
Oh, part 2. Thank you, Ed. I've had such a fun time. I love that you've taken to everything for pets because it's a brilliant thing. People are really interested, and thanks for having me on.
Okay, pet lovers. I see Tori Betts, my engineer behind the glass, and she's flashing a red light at me. So that must mean I'm really over my time. So let's end it here.
Okay, that's it. I quit. This guy's terrible.
Until next time, my friends, always be kind to pets and animals because they'll be kind to you. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Podcast Pets. Find us on YouTube at the Everything Pets Podcast and subscribe. And check out our website at talkingpets247.com for special offers and product information. Okay, I'm Ed Walden, and I am out of here.
Hi, Daddy.
Love this episode of Everything Pets? Let us know with a review. Also, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Follow us on social media at Podcast Pets and check out our website at talkingpets247.com. This episode is brought to you by Final Fitness and Play, your pet transportation expert.